Should you pin other people's content on Pinterest? Do you wonder, should I pin other people's pins to my boards? Maybe you're a content creator or you have a Pinterest business account and you're unsure as to whether repinning or resharing other pinners' content is in line with the best practices of Pinterest today. I get it. Pinterest can be confusing and the rules seem to always be changing. So hey there, it's Natalie Bardo, your Pinterest coach here. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel because I've got free weekly content coming your way. First, let's do some myth busting. There are so many misconceptions out there about repinning other people's content. Number one, it's believed that repinning other people's content is how you become successful on Pinterest. When in fact, back in 2018, Pinterest themselves said that it's actually not required that you repin other people's content to be successful on Pinterest. But wait, that's not my answer. There's a few other reasons why repinning might be the way to go, especially when it's another person's content. So the second misconception out there is that when you only share your own pins, you can seem like you're spammy, right? Like you're spamming Pinterest by only sharing your own pins. Well, that's not exactly right. Pinterest actually prefers that you share your own content. If you're a content creator, if you have a Pinterest business account, it should be primarily all about you, your pins, your content, your products, and what you're linking to. I would say this shift happened around late 2020, where Pinterest really started focusing on the content creator. Does that mean you should never share someone else's pins? No, it doesn't. So when we're talking about spamming and spammy behavior on Pinterest, we're really talking about taking the same image and sharing it over and over again, or even taking the same link and sharing it over and over again. That is how you look spammy. But if you're creating high quality content and a variety of content for your audience, you won't look spammy to them. You'll look like you have amazing content that they're gonna always wanna check out and stay tuned and follow. That's the difference. And the third misconception and holdover from the old days of Pinterest is this belief in the 80-20 rule, that you should be sharing more of other people's content than your own. I would say, if anything, the ratios have flipped because it is not exactly a good idea to predominantly share other people's content because you can inflate your stats. Sure, it could look like you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views on Pinterest, but if all those pins are linking to other people's websites, how does that actually benefit you and your business or your blog if none of those clicks are actually going to your site? You see where the problem lies. So if you've been sharing a lot of other people's pins, you're going to want to go into your Pinterest analytics. Make sure you click on your website. See if there is a huge difference between the monthly impressions and clicks overall for your profile versus just to your claimed domain. You'll see with my account, there isn't a huge difference because I focus on my own content and I encourage you to do the same. But that doesn't mean you should never share another user's pins. So I just mentioned the 80-20 rule. And now you might be wondering, okay, Natalie, so how many pins by other users should I be sharing to my Pinterest profile? There is technically no magic number. Pinterest hasn't come out and said it forthright, but I would encourage you that minimum 80%, even better if 90 to 95% of the pins on your profile are your own. So that means you're sharing maybe 5, 10, no more than 20% of the pins. I would say even 20% is too much. Aim for 5 to 10% of the pins that you're sharing to be other users' pins, but the majority, like the vast majority, should be your own. So here are a few examples. If you're sharing 10 pins a day, you can do 1 or 2 pins by other users. If you're sharing 1 or 2 pins per day, I would only share 1 or 2 pins per week by other content creators other than yourself. So if you're unsure about how often you should be pinning every day, check out this video. I break it down for you and you can find the perfect number of pins for your profile. All right, so I know your next question is likely, okay, so when is it okay to reshare another person's content? So reason number one for resharing another person's content is that it's valuable to your audience. So remember, think of your followers. Think of what content they are going to be interested in. If you find a pin that's linking to some high quality content that's relevant to your niche and something of interest to your audience, you're going to want to put it to the board that makes the most sense, which it fits cohesively with your own content. That's got to be the number one reason why you should reshare someone's content. Okay, the second reason why you should reshare content is that you're reciprocating from a Tailwind community, for example. So in Tailwind communities, you add your pins and relevant content creators are going to take your pins and share them to their profile. So of course you want to reciprocate, you want to be in good standing with Tailwind communities, and it's a great way to get your pins saved to optimized boards, which is going to increase the clicks to your website. So why not reciprocate? Have you joined Tailwind communities? It's a free feature of the Tailwind scheduler. I would say it's the best feature. So be sure to click down below and sign up for your free Tailwind account so you can start getting reshares of your pins by other relevant content creators. So the third reason to save someone else's pins to your boards is that it's amazing content that's worth saving for later. So if this is content that is so great and it blew you away and it was something that, yeah, you want to check out later and it is relevant to your business, your blog, or your brand, then save it. A note here is that if you come across a pin that is for personal reasons, I encourage you instead to save it to a secret board where your audience is not going to see it because you don't want to confuse them. So say, for example, you're all about sharing business tips, and if you come across a great recipe, save that to your secret board because it's not relevant to your audience and it's not relevant to your brand. All right, and the fourth reason that you should definitely reshare another content creator's pins is that it's for a new board and the board is empty, right? So say, for example, you created a new board that's a relevant topic to your audience, to your niche, but you haven't created any content as yet. Or maybe you just have one or two pieces of content, not very many pins, and your board looks really empty. It's a good idea to save a few high quality pins to that board. Usually when you create a new board, Pinterest is going to recommend a few pins. Save a couple. But here's the thing, you don't need to save 10, 20, or 30 pins to that board. Just one or two will do as you start to fill it up. Maybe having around 10 pins is a good number, but don't save those all at once. You can come back and spread it out. And another tip is that, say, for example, you do start creating more content to that board. I encourage you to pull your pins to the top of the board and put other users' pins down below. So you want to make sure that any pins you're saving to boards make sense from an SEO perspective, that it's adding value and it's validating your own content. So make sure that the topics align and just keep things nice, neat, and organized. All right, and the fifth reason is that it's for a client collaboration or you're collaborating with another content creator. This is what Pinterest is all about. It's about sharing other people's pins because, of course, you want other users to share your pins as well. So when we're collaborating, maybe you have a client, maybe you're making a vision board, a mood board, maybe you're just pulling ideas. That's a great reason if you're in one of these organically created group boards for you to collaborate together. So we're not talking about group boards with lots of bloggers. This is more in the vein of how Pinterest intended group boards to be more of a collaborative way of sharing ideas and pulling in different pins for inspiration. But there's a few things you want to keep in mind before you start saving other people's pins to your boards. You want to always check the link. So don't just go on the image, click on the pin and see that the content it's linking to is high value, that it's not spammy, and most importantly, that the link isn't broken. Then you can save it to your boards. So there you have it. I hope that answers your question as to whether you should be resharing another user's content to your boards. And if you have not joined Tailwind communities as yet, I encourage you to click down below and create a free forever Tailwind account. It gives you access to 5 Tailwind communities and start getting more reshares for your own content. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on this video and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I love being your Pinterest coach. And stick around, you're gonna find this video helpful. Bye for now, I'll see you in the next one.